Brea NBC, 2021, Season 1, Episode 4, titled The New Arrival. This is the only widely recognized series matching this title, so there is no ambiguity here. Imagine driving your kids to school on an ordinary morning, and within seconds, the ground beneath you disappears. That's the premise that hooked audiences into Brea, NBC's ambitious survival drama. By the time we reach Episode 4, the show has already thrown its characters into an impossible situation, stranded in a primeval wilderness with no explanation for how they got there. In this episode, called The New Arrival, the sky finally answers a call for help, but not in the way anyone expected. Someone falls from above. Someone else may be hiding a deadly secret, and for the first time, our survivors get proof they are not alone in this ancient world. This is a spoiler-free promise broken gently. We're about to walk through everything that happens. So, if you haven't watched yet, now's your moment to pause. Brea premiered on NBC in September 2021 and streams on Peacock. It falls into the science fiction, survival drama, and mystery genre categories, blending disaster movie spectacle with family drama and time displacement intrigue. The series was created by David Applebaum. Critical reception has been mixed to average, and this particular episode, The New Arrival, received a notably lukewarm response from critics, several of whom felt the plot moved briskly through big ideas without giving them room to breathe. We'll flag those critical opinions clearly as interpretation, not fact, throughout this breakdown. Episode 4 splits its attention across two worlds. Down in the primeval sinkhole world, the stranded survivors are dealing with the fallout of a mysterious murder investigation, a missing stash of drugs, and rising tension between several key characters. Then, out of nowhere, a plane crashed through the light above their world, and a new arrival tumbles into their reality. Meanwhile, back in present-day Los Angeles, Gavin and Izzy are forced to place their trust in people outside their immediate circle to plan another rescue attempt. The episode weaves these threads together, building toward a discovery that changes everything the survivors thought they knew about their situation. They are not the only humans living in this ancient land. The episode opens with the sinkhole survivors still adjusting to their reality in 10,000 BC. Scott, one of the more anxious and unpredictable members of the group, is shown musing about the stars and their situation, immediately signaling that his storyline is going to involve something he's hiding. As we soon learn, Scott had used a stash of heroin as an improvised pain reliever during a rough medical procedure performed on a fellow survivor named Sam. Rather than admit what he'd done, Scott chose to bury the drugs out in the woods, hoping nobody would notice they were missing. That plan quickly falls apart. A survivor named Lucas has been searching for the drugs, and it becomes clear they belong to him. Scott puts the pieces together when he spots Lucas near a car bearing a Louisiana license plate. Realizing this connects Lucas to the missing stash, Scott confides in Josh about his discovery, but deliberately keeps Riley in the dark. That decision backfires almost immediately, because Riley lets it slip to Lucas that the group knows both who the drugs belong to and where they're hidden. This sets up a tense undercurrent of suspicion and looming confrontation that will likely carry into future episodes. Running parallel to the drug subplot is a much darker thread. A murder has occurred among the survivors, and the group is trying to figure out who's responsible. A young girl named Lily, who does not speak, becomes a key focus of the investigation, since she may have witnessed something important. The problem, as one character bluntly points out, is that children rarely make reliable witnesses under normal circumstances, and Lily's silence makes the situation even more complicated. Marybeth turns to Ty, who has a background in psychiatry, and asks him to try connecting with Lily to help her open up about what she saw. This is where Veronica, another survivor, starts behaving oddly. She resists Ty's attempts to speak with Lily, insisting she doesn't want the child upset by having to relive the traumatic memory. However, her reluctance reads as something more complicated than simple protectiveness. It seems she may be trying to control the narrative around what Lily reveals, despite Veronica's efforts to intervene. Lily eventually breaks free from her attempts to keep her quiet. Visibly distressed by the memory, Lily manages to communicate to Ty and Mary Beth that she saw an old man and that this man had a distinctive handprint marking on his back. This detail becomes crucial once the group makes a startling discovery later in the episode. An identical handprint symbol appears on a fort or gate structure that they encounter in the wilderness. The implication is unmistakable: someone else, someone with their own community and their own markings, exists out here in this ancient world. The episode's central spectacle arrives when the survivors witness a plane breaking through the strange light above their world and crashing into the wilderness. This is a moment of both spectacle and heavy emotional weight, especially for Eve. The person emerging from the wreckage is Levi, her brother-in-law, and also her former lover, someone whose sudden arrival stirs up unresolved feelings. The look shared between Eve and Levi in this moment speaks volumes before either of them says a word, and Eve's hug on seeing him confirms that whatever happened between them in the past hasn't been fully resolved. Levi's arrival is not the joyful rescue moment some might expect. His plane is severely damaged, and it quickly becomes apparent that fixing it with no modern tools or technology is simply not possible. Josh, Eve's son, plays an important role here. He's shown to have a surprising amount of mechanical knowledge about aircraft, a skill he picked up from working on planes with his father, Gavin. This gives Josh a rare spotlight moment and highlights a bond between him and Gavin that the show hasn't focused on as much as Izzy's relationships with her parents. Despite Josh and Levi's efforts, the plane cannot be repaired. Just as the group's hope starts to fade, Levi realizes something important. Before the crash, his plane's radar had picked up a signal roughly 5 miles away. This detail reignites a spark of hope. If there's a signal out there, it could mean other people or other survivors exist somewhere in this vast unknown landscape. Driven by this new lead, a group made up of Eve, Levi, Riley, Scott, Josh, and Lucas heads out to investigate the source of the signal. Their journey leads them to a village and actual, established settlement, hidden away in this primeval world. On its gate, they see the same mysterious red handprint symbol that Lily described seeing on the mysterious old man from her traumatic memory. This is the episode's biggest revelation. For the first time, concrete evidence surfaces proving that other humans are living during this era, and that these people have some kind of organized society, complete with symbols and markings that suggest deeper meaning and possibly danger. The episode ends on this note of discovery, leaving the true nature of this village and its inhabitants that's an open mystery for future episodes to explore. While all of this unfolds in the primeval world, the episode also checks in with Gavin and Izzy in present-day Los Angeles. Having already sent Levi through the sinkhole in a previous episode, Gavin and Izzy are now faced with the reality that the mission encountered serious trouble. They must now place their trust in other people to help coordinate and plan a new rescue effort. Since Gavin's own credibility and history within official channels remain shaky, this present-day storyline also touches on Gavin's ongoing visions, his mysterious, almost supernatural ability to see glimpses of what's happening to Eve and the others in the ancient world. Through one of these visions, Gavin learns that Levi survived the plane crash and made it into 10,000 BC, giving him crucial information to guide the next stage of any rescue attempt. One of the episode's most emotionally loaded moments comes when Levi finally opens up to Eve about what happened before he was sent on this mission. He reveals that he told Gavin about their past affair, the reason for so much of the unresolved tension between Eve and Gavin throughout the series. Levi also confirms to Eve that Gavin's visions are real, which is why Gavin was the one responsible for setting the entire rescue mission into motion in the first place. In a quieter, more personal gesture, Levi also gives Eve back her wedding ring, an object Gavin had found in the present day and entrusted to Levi to return to her. It's a small object carrying enormous emotional weight, tying together themes of loss, guilt, and the fractured relationships at the heart of the show. Eve Harris is the emotional center of the series, a mother trying to hold her family together after being separated from her daughter Izzy and thrown into an ancient world. With her son Josh, her complicated feelings toward both her ex-husband Gavin and her former lover Levi come to a head in this episode, especially once Levi arrives and unresolved history resurfaces. Levi Delgado is Gavin's friend and the pilot who volunteered for the rescue mission in Gavin's place. His arrival via dramatic plane crash makes him the new arrival the episode title refers to. He's shown to be resourceful, emotionally open, and burdened by his complicated history with Eve. Gavin Harris doesn't physically appear in the primeval world, but his presence is felt throughout the episode via his visions and his efforts back in Los Angeles. He's a former Air Force pilot whose credibility issues keep him from joining the official rescue mission himself, forcing him to rely on others including Levi to act in his place. Josh Harris gets a meaningful character moment in this episode, revealing his knowledge of aircraft mechanics thanks to time spent working on planes with his father. This episode helps flesh out his relationship with Gavin, an angle the show hadn't spent as much time on compared to Izzy's family dynamics. Scott is dealing with a guilty conscience after secretly using another survivor's stash of drugs and then hiding the evidence. His attempt to keep this secret from unraveling drives one of the episode's tenser subplots. Riley unintentionally complicates the situation by revealing sensitive information to Lucas, showing how quickly trust can break down. Within the survivor group under pressure, Lucas is searching for his missing drugs and represents a potential threat once he learns the others know exactly where his stash is hidden. Lily is a young, non-verbal survivor whose fragmented memory becomes key to the murder investigation. Her account of an old man with a handprint marking becomes the episode's most important clue. Mary Beth and Ty work together to try to get information out of Lily, with Ty's psychiatric background positioning him as someone who might be able to help her communicate what she witnessed. Veronica behaves suspiciously throughout the investigation, resisting efforts to question Lily. Her motivations remain unclear and are presented here as an open question, rather than a confirmed fact. The biggest twist of the episode is the confirmation that other humans exist in this primeval world, evidenced by the discovery of the hidden village and its distinctive red handprint symbol. This directly connects to Lily's account of the mysterious old man, suggesting he may be tied to whatever community lives in that village. A secondary, more personal twist comes from Levi's confession to Eve, learning that Gavin knows about their past affair, and that his visions are genuinely real rather than some kind of delusion. Reshapes how Eve and the audience understands Gavin's motivations throughout the season. The episode closes on a moment of uncertainty and discovery rather than resolution. The group of survivors stands at the gate of a village that clearly belongs to other people living in this ancient era, marked by a handprint symbol that ties back to Lily's disturbing memory of a mysterious old man. This ending is deliberately unresolved. It opens up a much larger mystery about who these people are, what their intentions might be, and how they connect to the murder investigation happening within the survivor group. On the emotional side, the episode ends with Eve holding her returned wedding ring, symbolically closing one chapter of her complicated relationship history while opening up new, emotional questions about her feelings for both Gavin and Levi. The red handprint symbol appears twice in this episode, once in Lily's account of the old man, and once on the village gate, making it a clear visual motif the show is using to signal that these two elements are connected. Beyond this, there isn't reliable, confirmed information available about deeper Easter eggs or hidden references in this specific episode, so we won't speculate beyond what's been explicitly shown. This episode builds directly on the mystery of Gavin's visions, which becomes a much larger storyline later in the season, particularly explored in Episode 8, Origins, where the true nature of these visions is explored in far greater depth. The rescue mission that sends Levi into the sinkhole in this episode also sets up the ongoing present-day storyline of Gavin and Izzy trying to coordinate additional rescue efforts throughout the rest of Season 1. Critical reception for this particular episode was notably mixed. Some critics felt that the episode moved rapidly from plot point to plot point without pausing to develop meaning behind its events, while others noted that the episode felt more like a checklist of plot developments than a fully coherent creative story. These are critical opinions and interpretations, not confirmed production facts, so viewers should judge the episode for themselves. Processed media Rotten Tomatoes, The New Arrival is very much a hinge point episode for Brea's first season. It plants the seed for one of the show's biggest ongoing mysteries, the existence of another civilization in this ancient world, while deepening the emotional entanglements between Eve, Gavin, and Levi. It's an episode that juggles a lot of plot threads at once, and whether that juggling act works for you may depend on how much you enjoy fast-moving mystery storytelling versus slower character development. If you enjoyed this breakdown, let us know what you think in the comments. Share your own theories about the hidden village, the handprint symbol, and what might be waiting for the survivors next. We'd also love to hear your favorite moment from this episode. If you want more deep dives like this one, be sure to subscribe to Screen Central for detailed breakdowns of your favorite web series, TV shows, and movies, along with ending explained videos and full episode analyses. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an upload.